Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet.
Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Crime drama this hour with an episode of Dragnet, the FBI in Peace and War, and Orson Welles in the lives of Harry Lime. And we thank you for tuning in on this Thursday, 2nd day of November, 306th day of the year, 59 days left. General George Washington gave his farewell to the address to the Army on this date in 1783 in Rocky Hills, New Jersey. North and South Dakota admitted as the 39th and 40th states of the Union in 1889. In 1895, the first gasoline-powered race in the U.S., first prize, $2,000. That would be over $60,000 today. In 1920, KDKA, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, began broadcasting as the first commercial radio station. The first broadcast the results of the U.S. presidential election.
It is now apparent that the Republican ticket of Harding and Coolidge is running well ahead of Cox and Roosevelt. At the present time, Harding has collected more than 16 million votes against some 9 million for the Democrats. We'll give you the state vote in just a moment. But first, we'd like to ask you to let us know that this broadcast is reaching you. Please drop us a card, address station KDKA, Westinghouse, East Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
WWJ in Detroit, KQW in San Jose, KCBS San Francisco dispute the KDKA claim, so the claim of the oldest commercial station in the U.S. remains unsettled. In 1930, Haile Selassie crowned Emperor of Ethiopia. In California on this date in 1947, designer Howard Hughes performed the maiden flight of the Spruce Goose, the largest fixed-wing aircraft ever built. In 1948, Harry Truman defeated Thomas E. Dewey for the U.S. presidency.
I'm Harry S. Truman. I work for the government, and I'm trying to keep my job. We're out to win this election, and we're going to do that on the 2nd day of November.
Harry Truman winning election to his first term on his own on this date in 1948. In 1959, 21 game show contestant Charles Van Doren admitted to a congressional committee he had been given question and answers in advance. In 1960, Penguin Books found not guilty of obscenity in the Lady Chatterley's Lover case. In 1976, Jimmy Carter defeated Gerald Ford to become the first president from the Deep South since Reconstruction.
Now, I welcome all of those in the United States, whether they, like you, supported me or supported Mr. Ford or someone else. It's time for us to get together, to correct our mistakes, to answer difficult questions, and to make our nation great. I want to thank all of you. I love everybody here. You've been great to me. Thank you very much.
The Carter administration was not the most effective administration in history at all. In 1983, President Reagan signed a bill creating Martin Luther King Day, the only current national holiday honoring an individual American. Yes, I know you're going to go, George Washington's birthday. No, it is now President's Day on the calendar, don't you know? The number one song in the nation on this date in 1985, the theme to the TV show Miami Vice. Jan Hammer's theme song for the television show Miami Vice, number 1 on this date in 1985. In 1986, U.S. hostage David Jacobson released in Beirut after 17 months in captivity. 1988, the Morris worm, the first internet-distributed computer worm to gain significant mainstream media attention, launched from MIT. And in 2016, the Chicago Cubs defeated the Cleveland Indians in the World Series, ending the longest Major League Baseball championship drought at 108 years. Among those passing away on this date in history, country singer Tommy Overstreet, the fabulous Moolah, a wrestler for many, many years who had a checkered past, singer Eva Cassidy, director, producer Hal Roach, voice actor Paul Frees, humorist James Thurber, George Bernard Shaw, Nobel Prize laureate, writer, and the singer clarinet player Acker Bilk.
1962.
The Stranger on the Shore, Acker Bilk, passing away on this date in 2014. Birthdays today include President Warren Harding, President James Knox Polk, also the Queen of France, Marie Antoinette, frontiersman Daniel Boone, actor Burt Lancaster, Mr. Hand in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, though I remember him most for My Favorite Martian, Ray Walston, born on this date, actress Anne Rutherford, voice actor Shepard Menken, and British keyboardist and composer Keith Emerson of Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Pat Buchanan turns 85 today. From Heart to Heart, Emmy Award-winning Stephanie Powers, 81 today. You're Only Lonely, J.D. Souther, Her Town 2, 78 years old today is J.D. Also singer Maxine Nightingale, getting right back where she started from, 71 years old. K.D. Lang and That Constant Craving, 62 today. From Friends, David Schwimmer is 57. And from 24 and Riverdale, Marisol Nichols is 50. Those just a few of the people celebrating the second day of November as their birthday. And if this happens to be your birthday,
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
And up next on this Thursday edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of Dragnet, The Big Light from 71 years ago, November 2nd, 1952. This is Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Ladies, there's one war job that you and only you can do. I mean the saving of waste fats and oils. Every drop of used fat is vitally needed for military medicines and supplies, and for supplies on the home front, such as fabrics, paints, and soaps. That fat has to come from your kitchen. Don't fall down on your war job. Save all used fats in a clean can, and the minute the can is full, take it right down to your butcher. He'll pay you 4 cents plus 2 red ration points for every pound you turn in.
Thank you, Waxy. I also want to thank Sean, who bought us buy me a coffee, a couple of Dr. Peppers. Thank you so much. He said so many nice things, and among them, I can't tell you how happy I am you're back. What you do is truly invaluable. I think the podcast-only format is actually an improvement. I love hearing about how healthy cigarettes used to be. That's a little tongue-in-cheek there. We've had a lot of comments of listeners to our radio show that actually enjoy our podcasts more because we're able to spend time bring these shows to you completely uninterrupted, along with the music from the shows and the commercials from the shows. The cigarette commercials, we couldn't. We would not broadcast them because technically, even though they're historic remnants, and our late CEO Fred Weinberg used to argue you can air them, they're historic remnants. We don't want people going out and buying cigarettes, and yet technically the stations could be liable if somebody really complained about it. But we didn't want to put any of our radio stations' licenses at risk. I'm sure you can understand that. I love doing this, but I don't want to cause anybody any grief. So we dropped those, took those out of the show. And that's why you're going to hear in this episode of Dragnet from November 2nd, 1951. Is it Chesterfield? I'm not sure who the advertiser is on this one. But it's from November 2nd, 1952, 71 years ago. Dragnet and the Big Lamp.
Sound off for Chesterfield. Chesterfield, the only cigarette in America to give you premium quality in both regular and king size, brings you Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. You receive a call that a fatal accident has occurred at a Hollywood motion picture studio. Your job? Investigate. Here's what a leading tobacco publication and the nation's press have had to say about king-size Chesterfields.
U.S. Tobacco Journal, Atlanta, Georgia. Chesterfield king size is going strong. One jobber reordered twice this week, in addition to his regular order.
And the Herald Tribune reported, king size is a sellout. Extra supplies of Chesterfields rush to dealers here.
The reason for king-size Chesterfield's amazing success is this. All king-size cigarettes give you quantity, but only Chesterfield king-size gives you quantity plus quality, premium quality.
That means Chesterfield king size contains tobaccos of better quality and higher price than any other king-size cigarette. The same fine tobacco as in regular Chesterfield. Enough more of this tobacco to give you more than a 1/5 longer smoke.
So remember, Chesterfield is the only cigarette to give you premium quality in both regular and king size.
Buy 'em either way you like 'em. Chesterfield gives you the best possible smoke. Much milder.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Friday, August 5th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Lorman. My name's Friday. It was 2:25 p.m. when we got to the Winton Picture Studios. Stage 2.
Better check the guard over there.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Can I help you?
Police officers, about the accident, where do we find Mr. Adams?
Oh, yeah, I said look for you. Let's see, I saw him around here a minute ago. Oh, there he is, over there by that office set. See him, the one in the blue suit?
One with the gray hair?
Yeah, that's him.
Thank you very much.
I know, you can check with the office. If they can come up with an idea, I'll go for it. All I know is that we gotta have this turkey finished. Yeah, something you want?
Yes, you Gerald Adams?
That's right.
Police officers. My ID card.
Oh, yeah. You're Friday, huh?
Yes, sir, it's my partner, Frank Smith.
Yeah, how do you do?
Hi.
How much you know about this?
Well, a doctor down at Georgia Street told us that Henry Wilson had an accident. Is that right?
Yeah, he was a director. At least he thought he was.
I wonder if we could see where the accident happened.
Yeah, sure. Over in stage 1, just across the way. Hold on a minute, will you? I'd like to talk to Sam for a minute, try to get things organized here, get things moving. You know.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Just wait here. I'll be right back.
Okay. Quite a place, huh, Joe? Yeah, a lot of room. It's a big stage, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, all this, the average person doesn't stop to think about it. What's that? You know, a fella lays out 85 cents to see a movie. Never thinks about all the people, all the equipment that goes into making it possible. Yeah.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Terrible thing, we're 12 days behind schedule now. This will probably knock a couple more days off. The exec's gonna scream like an eagle when he sees what this opus is costing. Here, right through the story.
Right.
One's right over there.
Yes, sir. Wonder if you'd mind filling us in on this thing.
Yeah, sure. What can I do to help?
Well, if you can tell us how the body was found, who found it, how the accident occurred.
Well, as near as I can figure, it must have happened about 12:10, 12:15. Crew had broken for lunch. Most of them were over at the commissary. I came down from the office and wanted to talk to Henry about tomorrow's schedule. Wanted to try to change some of the shots, make them more simple. He wasn't in the lunchroom, so I went ahead and had lunch.
Uh-huh.
About, I think it was about 12:40, Al Evans, the greenery man, came in and told me he'd found Henry's body. A lamp had fallen on him. Darn fool yelled it so loud that everybody in the place heard him.
I see.
Well, I came right over. First, it looked like Henry was dead. He'd lost a lot of blood. Felt his pulse, found out he was still alive. That's when I had the ambulance called. Here we are. Good idea.
Thank you.
Over here by the house set.
Yeah.
At the time those big doors were open, the green men were putting in the shrubbery here. After I found out about the accident, I had the doors closed so people wouldn't be roaming in and out.
Are the doors usually left open?
Usually are. When there's no shooting on the stage, when we're using it, they're closed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, right here's where he was found. You can see the lamp, but the sun arc must have hit him right about here. Poor guy.
Yes, sir. Is that where the lamp fell from, up there?
Yeah. Yeah, there you can see on the scaffolding where it was. Between the babies, there's space there.
Who puts the lamps up there?
Well, it's in the gaffer's department. He's in charge of them.
Wonder if we could talk to him.
Yeah, sure. He's over in 2. I'll call him.
Thank you. Big lamp, huh? Yeah. Sure smashed up, isn't it? Gee, that thing must weigh a couple 100 pounds. Yeah, look up there. It's quite a drop. Figure it's about 40 feet up there. What do you think? Oh, yeah, that anyway.
He's on his way over.
What's your position here, Mr. Adams?
I'm production supervisor, unit manager. A lot of names for it. I try to take care of the running of the company as far as this one picture is concerned, make out the budgets, work on the schedule, the director, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Really hard to say just what my job is, so I do a little of everything.
Yes, sir.
You fellas from homicide?
Yes, sir, that's right.
You think that there's something wrong here? Maybe Henry's accident wasn't an accident or something?
Well, it's just that in any death where there isn't a doctor in attendance at the time of death, we have to look into it. It's just routine.
I thought for a minute you might think there was something fishy about this. That's all we need. Have murder on the set. Might as well fold up.
Oh, hi, Jerry. You want to see me?
Yeah, Dick, these officers like to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
This is Mr. Friday, Mr. Smith, Dick Patterson, our gaffer.
How are you?
Hi, Mr. Patterson. What do you want to know?
Well, Mr. Adams here tells us that you were in charge of installing those lamps. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Are you trying to say I had anything to do with causing Henry's death?
Oh, no, sir. We didn't say that.
Well, then what are you saying?
Well, we're just trying to get the facts straight.
No need to get upset now, Dick.
Well, what are you talking about? These cops come in here and try to make out I didn't put those lamps in right?
That's not what they said.
Well, don't you think I feel bad enough? Henry was a good friend of mine. We've been together a long time. I don't know how the lamp got loose.
I wonder if we could look at its mounting.
Sure. I've been wanting to get up there anyway to look at it myself. But Jerry here said not to touch anything till you guys got here.
Okay. How do we get up there?
There's a ladder back here at the rear of the stage.
All right.
I can't understand it, Mr. Friday. I've been hanging lamps for a long time. It's going on 20 years. First time anything like this ever happened. Oh, here it is, just going up.
Okay.
Hey, watch your step. Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we can get there down this way.
They use these walks to hang the lights on, do they?
Yeah, you got to be awfully careful, though. Watch your step. It's a long way down.
Yeah.
Once in a while, if you want a real high shot of the scene, we lift the camera up here. Mostly, though, it's used just for lights. Here it is. Now you can see there where the light was.
Yes, sir. Oh, appreciate it if you didn't touch anything, if you just stand back there.
Sure.
Now, the base of the lamp went through this hole there, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, look at the one over there, same way.
Yeah. You have anything else securing the lights once they're tied down?
No, sir. Once they're in place, the weight of the thing itself will hold it.
In other words, you drill this hole and you place the lamp in the hole, and it could... Well, it doesn't look like the wood is chipped, does it?
No, these scaffolds are pretty new. This stage hasn't been up more than a year.
Well, from what you can see, Mr. Patterson, can you figure out how the lamp might have fallen? How it could have broken loose?
Well, I'll tell you, officer. Bob, that's my best boy. Bob and I were over here last night checking the lights on the set. Now, I didn't actually get up here myself, but Bob did. Now, he's a good boy. He's been around a long time, doesn't make mistakes like this. He secured this lamp himself. Now, I know it was right.
Well, then, have you got any idea how it might have fallen?
None at all. Matter of fact, I don't think it did.
Sir?
I don't think it did fall. I think it was dropped.
3:15 p.m. Frank and I went back to stage 2. We talked to Bob Murphy, the best boy, and got the same story from him. He said that he'd secured the lamp in position himself and that as far as he was concerned, it could not have fallen. He agreed with Dick Patterson that the lamp must have been removed from its place and either dropped or was thrown at Wilson. At this point, there was the possibility that the death was not an accident. We asked the unit manager to assign one of the studio police to guard the scene of the accident, and then we called the crime lab. Dean Bergman lifted several clean prints from the broken lens of the lamp. Bob Murphy's fingerprints were taken, and they matched those found on the lamp. There were no other prints on the glass. The men from the crime lab found a small piece of blue cloth on the mounting of the lamp. Lee Jones put it in an envelope and gave it to me. At 4:20 p.m., we talked to Gerald Adams in one of the portable dressing rooms.
I just can't believe it. There were a lot of people in town that didn't like Henry, but I don't think there was anyone that'd kill him.
Was there anyone in the company that he had any disagreements with, would you know?
Well, what do you mean?
Well, anyone he had quarrels with, arguments, would you know?
Well, I guess Sam would be the most likely. They argued all the time.
Sam?
Yeah, Sam Phillips. He's the first assistant director. Real talented guy. Been at it a long time. He and Henry worked together for a long time. They were always arguing. I guess if you didn't know them, you might think they were serious, but here in the company, we all knew. We understood.
Understood what?
Well, Sam's been in Hollywood almost since it was. He began as a prop man, worked his way up to be a cutter. Then I guess about 15 years ago, he went into directing.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get a picture of his own pretty soon. He'll do well, too. Real talent.
Well, about these arguments, Mr. Adams, between Wilson and Phillips.
Well, to understand him, you'd have to know Henry. He was one of the first directors in pictures. Came out here from New York even before Sam did. Really old school. He drove special cars, most of them pure white. Had all his clothes designed and made. He wore a cape while he was on the set, you know. Referred to himself as Wilson. You know, Wilson thinks this, Wilson thinks that. If you didn't know him, you'd take him seriously. Once you did that, you were in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Were you ever present when one of these arguments took place?
Yeah, matter of fact, they had one yesterday.
That's so?
Yeah, over in the commissary. I thought for a minute it was going to be pretty serious, and then I realized it was all a gag. Everyone else did, too.
Well, what was it about?
Well, like I told you, the picture's 12 days over now. A lot of tension on the stage. Everyone's pretty edgy.
Yeah.
Well, Sam's a great practical joker, you know, always trying to cook up something.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, the jokes do the job. They give everybody a laugh. They all feel a little better. Well, day before yesterday, Sam got one of the set dressers and took a cement deer. You know, the kind people used to have on their front lawns?
Yeah, I think I know the kind you mean.
Well, the two of them carted this deer down the parking lot and put it in the back seat of Henry's car. He planted it so the deer was looking right at Henry when he got in the driver's seat. The thing weighed about 250 pounds. Once they got it in, Henry couldn't get it out. He tried that night. He couldn't make it.
He didn't think it was very funny, did he?
No, he had to leave it in the car all night. Drove home with it. Next morning, when he checked in the lot, he tried to get it out again. While he was trying, the horns on the thing tore up the upholstery in his car, really ripped it up to pieces.
I'll be darned.
Well, finally, Henry got a hammer and broke the thing up. Smashed it in little pieces and threw them all out of the car. Left them right in front of the scene dock.
Yeah. Was that when he and Phillips had the argument?
No. Yesterday morning when Wilson got on the set, he wasn't saying anything to anybody. All the crew knew about the deer, and they were all waiting for him to say something about it, but he didn't. He just drove the crew through the morning setups. The argument took place at lunchtime.
Yeah?
Henry waited until the whole crew was having lunch, and then he stormed into the cafe. He walked over to Sam, really read him off, called him a child. He said that if he'd spend a little more time doing his work and less time playing around, the picture wouldn't be so far over scheduled. Really made him look like a fool. Argument went on for about 15 minutes.
Well, what was Sam doing all this time?
Well, he just sat there, and then finally he got up and grabbed Henry, kind of shook him, said he'd never been talked to like that before, and it wasn't going to happen again. Said he'd kill Henry next time he did it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Henry looked pretty scared. Sam's a big man, you know. I think if he made up his mind to do it, he could have broken Henry in two.
Mm-hmm.
Sam looked at Henry for a minute, and then he laughed. Then Henry started to laugh, too, and then the whole place, I guess it's like laughing in a horror picture. Anything to break the tension. Looked real tight. Even I wasn't sure it was a joke, you know.
You said that Sam lifted this deer into the car by himself?
Well, I don't know if he did it by himself, but I know he could lift it without help.
How much did you say that deer weighed?
Oh, about 250 pounds. Why?
Well, I was just thinking. That's about what that big lamp weighed, isn't it? 3:45 p.m. Frank called the office and had R&I run the names Sam Phillips and Henry Wilson. Sam Phillips had been arrested once for disturbing the peace. He'd gotten drunk in a nightclub out on Sunset Boulevard and gotten into a fight. The report said that it had taken both of the arresting officers to subdue him and take him into custody. There was no record on Henry Wilson. We continued to talk to the crew. Each one of them told us about the arguments between Phillips and Wilson, but most of the people we talked to didn't share Adams' idea that the arguments were just a joke. The script girl told us that on at least 3 occasions, members of the crew had to keep the men apart, and that Sam Phillips had said he'd kill Wilson. We asked each of them if they'd seen anyone enter or leave the stage at approximately the time of the accident. None of them had. They explained that Wilson had been trying to pick up time, and that as soon as they'd finished one shot, he was yelling at them to get ready for the next one. 4:22 p.m. We talked to Sam Phillips.
Sure, we had some beefs. None of them were serious, though.
Well, how about this fight you had in the commissary yesterday?
You mean the thing about the deer?
Yeah?
Well, that didn't mean anything. Oh, I admit I was pretty sore for a minute, but right away I knew Henry wasn't serious. Even if he was, I guess I can understand it. Must have made him pretty sore to see his car ripped up.
Did you lift that deer into Wilson's car by yourself?
Yeah, I had one of the set dressers with me. He kind of steered the thing in. Sure looked kind of funny.
Mm-hmm. You sure you weren't over on stage 1 today?
Positive.
You got any idea of how that light got loose and fell?
No, I've been in the business a long time. That's the first time I've ever known a lamp to fall. They've been tipped over when on a floor stand, and I've seen them broken when the set is moved. I've never seen one drop like that.
Do you have any idea how this could have happened then?
Not the slightest.
You're a first assistant, is that right?
Yeah.
How long you been in this job?
Oh, I guess about 15 years now. I was a cutter for a while. Took a big cut in salary to go into directing. Figured it'd be a way to get a picture of my own. A lot of directors come from the cutting department.
That's so?
Yeah, they do. I didn't care much for it, though. I like to be on the set. See things happen. I like the activity.
Mm-hmm. Did Wilson know that you wanted to be a director?
Yeah, he said that if I stayed with him, he'd try to get the producers to give me a picture. Matter of fact, I kind of thought I might get this one.
Is that right?
Yeah. When I was in the pre-planning stages, they hadn't assigned a man to it yet, and Jerry and I both wanted it.
Jerry? You mean Adams?
Yeah, he wants to be a director, too. It's funny, I guess everyone wants to be a director. Jerry's been trying for a long time. I don't think he'll ever make it, though.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's too valuable as a unit manager.
Yeah. Was Adams very upset when he didn't get this picture?
No, I was pretty sore. I told Jerry about it. He just sat back and said that's the way things are and that it doesn't pay to fight the front office.
Mm-hmm. Did you say anything to Wilson about how you felt?
Yeah, I told him. Said I thought it was real unfair. Said I thought he could have done something about it.
Well, what did he say?
He told me to be patient. My time would come.
Do you know if there was anybody on the lot who might have wanted to kill Wilson?
No. Oh, there might have been some people who didn't like him very much, but you run into that in almost every picture. You know, little jealousies.
That right?
Yeah. You really think he was killed, huh?
Well, it could have been, yeah.
Sure hard to believe. We've been making pictures about this for a long time. You know, murders. But now that it's right here, really on the set, it makes you feel you can just check ahead in the script and find out who the killer is. Read about the ending. Kind of seems just like another picture.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, come in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had somebody here with you.
That's all right, Mr. Patterson. What is it?
I wonder if I could talk to you?
Sure.
Well, it's kind of private.
Well, if you're through with me, I'll get back to work.
No, you just wait. I'll be right back. Here, we can step out here.
Okay.
Now, what is it, Mr. Patterson?
Well, I feel like a real idiot. I should have remembered it when you talked to me before.
What's that, sir?
Well, I remember just before the company broke for lunch, Sam gave me a note. Said I should give it to Wilson.
Mm-hmm. Did you see what it was?
No, it was folded up. Had Wilson's name on it. I didn't pay much attention to it.
What, did you give it to him?
Yeah, he read it, and then he said he had to leave the set for a few minutes, said he'd be right back.
He left the stage then?
Yeah.
Where was Sam at this time?
Well, I don't know. You see, he gave me the note just outside the door to the stage. I was bringing in some more lights, and right after he handed it to me, he left.
Uh-huh.
Headed for stage 1.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
Chesterfield was first to name its ingredients. Ingredients that give you the best possible smoke. Now, Chesterfield is first to give you scientific facts in support of smoking.
Nose, throat, and accessory organs not adversely affected by smoking Chesterfields. First such report published about any cigarette.
A responsible consulting organization reports a study by a competent medical specialist and staff on the effects of smoking Chesterfields. For 6 months, a group of men and women smoked only Chesterfield. 10 to 40 a day, their normal amount. 45% of the group have smoked Chesterfields from 1 to 30 years, for an average of 10 years each. At the beginning and end of the 6 months, each smoker was given a thorough examination, including x-rays, and covering the sinuses, nose, ears, and throat. After these examinations, the medical specialist stated,
"It is my opinion that the ears, nose, throat, and accessory organs of all participating subjects examined by me were not adversely affected in the 6 months period by smoking the cigarettes provided.
Remember this report and buy Chesterfields either way you like 'em, regular or king size. Premium quality Chesterfields and much milder.
We talked to Gerald Adams and had 2 of the studio police start a search for the note. Frank called Georgia Street Receiving Hospital and asked if the note had been found on the body of Henry Wilson. The doctor told us that he didn't know and that the dead man's personal effects had been turned over to the coroner. We called them and they told us that there was nothing of that description found. While the search for the missing note went on, we continued to talk to Sam Phillips.
The whole idea is crazy. I told you I wasn't near stage 1 at all this morning.
Well, how about the note?
I don't remember any note.
Well, the gaffer says you gave it to him. Told him to give it to Wilson.
He's crazy. If I had a note for Wilson, I'd have given it to him myself. I'm with him all day. I've got no reason to have someone else deliver messages for me.
Well, then you deny giving him the note, is that right?
Well, certainly.
All right, mister, we'll let you know just how you stand. We got a witness who says you were seen going to stage 1. A couple of minutes later, a man is killed on the same stage. You admit that you've had arguments with Wilson. Seems like you might have had a motive for killing him.
I told you I didn't go near the place. Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah?
I know what's happened.
What's that?
Well, when Dick told you he saw me heading for stage 1, he probably saw me heading for the office. I have to pass near the stage to get there. Matter of fact, I even cut through it once in a while.
Did you happen to cut through it today?
No, at least I don't think so.
Now, it's pretty important that you remember.
Well, I'm trying. Let's see. I know what you guys think. I don't know how to show you that you're wrong.
Well, can you come up with an explanation for the note?
Well, I'm trying to tell you I don't know. Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
What?
I did give Dick a note.
Yeah.
Told him to give it to Henry.
What was in it?
Well, I don't know. I didn't even read it.
Well, then you didn't write it?
No, I found it in my desk when I was up in the office this morning. I figured that someone had put it there thinking I'd see Henry and give it to him.
What time did you find it?
Let's see, I guess it was about 9 or so. Guess I put it in my pocket and then forgot all about it. And just before I went up to the office to tell him that we were breaking for lunch, I remembered it. I gave it to Dick and told him to hand it to Henry. That's what the note's all about. Right after that, I went upstairs.
Mm-hmm. Do you always tell the office that you're broken for lunch?
Yeah, most of the time I phone, but today I went up myself. I've been kind of expecting a letter from my family back east, and I thought it might be in, so I wanted to check the morning mail.
Got any idea who might have put the note on your desk?
No, I just found it, tucked away in the corner of the blotter. I really didn't look at it. I was in a hurry. Wanted to finish lunch so I could get back on the set. We have a lot of work to do this afternoon.
Did you see Wilson after you left the stage?
No, I looked for him at the commissary, but he didn't show up. Then the greenery man came in and said that he had the accident.
Uh-huh. You recognize the handwriting on that note?
No, all I saw was the name, that it was for Henry. Come to think of it, though, I do kind of remember that it was familiar handwriting, thinking I'd seen it someplace before.
Do you remember where?
No, I wish I could. Have you found it yet?
No. Wilson must have dropped it someplace here, though. It wasn't on his body. I wonder if you'd take a look at this.
What's that?
Well, the crime lab crew found this on the stage, caught on the lamp that killed Wilson.
Looks like the material they make suits out of.
Yeah, from inside the cuff. See? See the little zigzag mark where it's been cut?
Mm-hmm.
You ever see this type of material before, Sam?
Let me see. Looks like it came from a blue suit, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Good material. Sure an odd color. Yeah, I think I've seen a suit like this. I think I saw it this morning.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, sure. Jerry Adams was wearing it.
"6:30 p.m. We called Gerald Adams into the dressing room. Were you on stage 1 at all before the body was found?
No, sir. Why do you think I had something to do with this?
Well, we're just trying to get the facts here.
Well, I want to help, but it seems to me that you'd spend your time a little better if you talked to Sam, the note and all. Still deny giving it to Henry?
No, he says that he gave it to him.
Well, then there you are. I guess that argument was a lot more serious than we thought, huh?
That's a nice-looking suit you got on, Mr. Adams. New?
Yeah, this is the first day I've worn it. Present from my wife. Pretty blue. I don't usually care for blue, like brown gray mostly. Wife's been trying to get me to wear blue, so she got this suit for me.
Yeah, looks like it's made pretty well there.
Yeah, it is. She had my tailors put it together. I didn't even go down for a fitting. Needs a few things done to it, like the shoulders pulled in a little. I don't much care for padding in the shoulders,
Mm-hmm. You mind if I look at the cuffs? I've always had trouble with the cuffs on my suits. You can see here how they've worn. Must be in the way they're made.
No, I don't think so. That looks like it came from your shoes rubbing against it.
You mind if I look?
No, here.
Yeah, it sure is beautiful material.
Yeah, she sure got good taste.
Uh-huh.
Of course, it should be. She paid $180 for it.
Wow. Hey, you got a little tear here on the cuff. Inside, have you noticed that?
No. Let's see.
Right there.
Oh, yeah. How about that? I gotta get that fixed. A little piece torn right out, huh?
Uh-huh. What did you do when you found Wilson's body?
What do you mean?
What were your movements?
Well, it'll be kind of hard to explain. If you want to walk over there, I can show you.
All right. Let's go.
Company's broken. I told him to wait up in the office. Figured you might want to talk to him some more.
Fine.
Here, I'll get the door. Sure a beautiful night, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Best time of the day in the valley. After the sun starts to go down, everybody's always kidding about the cool breeze that comes up, you know. Really does out here. I know the wife and I practically live out of doors during the summer months.
Is that right?
Yeah, we both love the valley. Right, here we are. Just the work lights on. You want me to get the others?
No, there's enough light.
Okay.
Now, if you'd show us just what happened when you found the body.
Well, I came in that door, the big one there. It was open.
Was there anybody on the stage then?
No, not right away. The greenery man came in right after me, and then Jack the guard from the other stage.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, the body was lying about here. And the lamp was there. You saw that when you were here.
Yes, sir, we did. Did you go near the lamp, touch it in any way?
No, I didn't. The only concern was Henry. That's all I thought about. I knelt down to feel Henry's pulse, and then I told Jack to go and phone the ambulance.
Yeah?
And then I had the doors closed. I waited until a lot of policemen got here, and then I went back to the other stage.
Mm-hmm. Our crime lab found a piece of cloth caught on that lamp. Matches the tear in the cuff of your suit.
Can't understand how it could have gotten there.
What if we could look through your pockets?
Why? What's that going to prove?
We just want to take a look. It won't hurt anything.
Well, maybe it won't, but I don't see why you're asking me all these questions. Seems to me that Sam's your killer. Why don't you talk to him? Make him tell you why he did it.
All right, come on. Let's see what you got in your pockets. Take everything out, put it on the table.
All right. Here's my wallet.
Well, you better take the money out of it.
Okay.
Now, let me see the wallet.
All right, here.
Just a second, Mr. Adams. What'd you drop over there? Right there.
Hmm?
Looks like the note we've been looking for, Joe. What's it say? Wilson, I have to see you. Something's come up. Meet me on 1 when you break for lunch. It's private. Signed, Jerry. How about this, Adams?
Oh, I don't know anything about it.
Well, maybe we better talk downtown.
What's going on place with you?
Watch him, Joe. He's going up that ladder. All right, give it up, Adams. There's no place to go up there.
Stay away from me.
Come on, Adams, give it up. He's not coming down. Only can't stay up there long.
Why don't you shoot me? I'm not going to do what you say. Go ahead and shoot me.
What for? You're not going anyplace. How about it, Adams? Why'd you do it?
He had it coming. All his life stepping on people. This picture was mine. They told me it was. And he took it away from me just because he wanted to be a big man. This was my picture. He took it.
All right, come on down.
I'm going to stay up here.
You suit yourself. We got lots of time, Adams.
Can't you just go away and leave me alone?
You know better than that. You killed a man. Now, come on. You either come down or we'll come up. What do you think, Joe? Yeah, give him a minute. He wants to be a director. Yeah. Let him figure out the ending.
The story you have just heard was true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On February 17th, trial was held in Department 89, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Friends, in a sense, every smoker is his own judge and jury when it comes to selecting a cigarette. Now, you've heard the facts in our case for Chesterfield, and I'd like to sum them up for you. Chesterfield, the first and only cigarette to give you premium quality in both regular and king size. Chesterfield, the first and only cigarette to name all its ingredients. And now, Chesterfield gives you scientific facts in support of smoking. You heard the report read earlier. Nose, throat, and accessory organs not adversely affected by smoking Chesterfields. First such report ever published about any cigarette. Consider these facts carefully. I'm sure you'll want to change to Chesterfields. Regular or king size, Chesterfield gives you the best possible smoke. And much milder.
Gerald S. Adams was tried and convicted of murder in the first degree. He was sentenced to life imprisonment in the state penitentiary, San Quentin, California. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Whit Connor, Jack Crucian. Script by John Robinson. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Sound off for Chesterfields. Either way you like them, regular or king size, Chesterfield gives you the best possible smoke. Much milder Chesterfield.
Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
This is NBC, the nation's headquarters for election news.
I couldn't remember whether the primary advertiser was Chesterfield or Fatima, but it was Chesterfield, so there you go. From 72 years ago, November 2nd, 1950, 71 years ago, November 2nd, 1952, Dragnet of the Big Light, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. What I started to say, and I got a tickle in my throat I'm gonna try to finish this without having to cough. What I was starting to say is that we bring these podcasts to you thanks to your support at classicradio.stream using the Buy Me a Coffee function, or by supporting the advertisers whose messages you will hear in a moment, like these people.
Everyone who works for a living knows that illness or injury may keep them from earning a living. Today, more than 9 out of 10 American workers are covered by Social Security, and each one should know that if he becomes severely disabled, he and his family may be eligible for monthly Social Security disability payments. More than 1 million people are now receiving benefits each month under this program. For more information about Social Security disability benefits, write to Social Security, Department 15, Hollywood 28, California, and ask for a free copy of Booklet 29 called If You Become Disabled.
By the way, if you're listening on YouTube, you're not hearing any advertisers, and that's because YouTube is a junk platform. I truly detest YouTube more than anything in the world, but we get our podcasts up here simply because we know that some people like to use YouTube. May I suggest, if you're a YouTube follower, that you go to Spreaker, SPREAKER.com, and download their Spreaker app if you're listening on a phone, or go to our webpage, classicradio.stream, and listen there. classicradio.stream. It helps to support our program. Now, we're going to go back 68 years to a CBS program from November 2nd, 1955, The FBI in Peace and War.
The FBI in Peace and War. Another great story based on Frederick L. Collins' copyrighted book, The FBI in Peace and War. Drama, thrills, action. Tonight's story, Paid in Full.
And you know what else I think you got, cutie?
What?
What else I think you got's the cutest face in port. And I'm an authority.
I'll bet you are, handsome.
Yes, sir. Cutest face, cutest figure. And what else I think you got's an empty glass, and so have I. Hey, bartender, little service over here.
No more drinks, honey. Joint's closing up.
Closing up? Well, how you like that? Just when you and me was getting real acquainted.
Lousy killjoy, that's what.
Yeah, said it.
Of course, if you're not too tired, we could always go to my place.
Huh?
I've got a bottle. No special closing time.
Hey, you mean it, baby? Wouldn't kid a guy just off his ship.
Now, do I look like the kind of girl who'd kid a guy?
Well, you look... You know what? You're okay. What I mean, okay. Come on, let's go.
All right. You wait here a minute. I gotta make a phone call.
A phone call?
My roommate. Just to make sure she's not home.
Oh, go ahead. You got a dime?
Uh-huh. Sure you're not tired now?
Never felt more wide awake in my life, so help me. Go ahead. Make your call.
Won't be a minute. Don't go away now.
Not for $1 million, cutie. I'll be right here.
Hello, Marty. I'm calling from a bar. I'll have to talk quiet. Is Mr. Reber there?
He's with me.
All right. Tell him I'm with the first mate of the Calcutta. They dock tonight. Cargo of burlap and jute.
And?
Hold your breath.
I'm holding.
30 pounds of pure opium.
You sure?
Have I been wrong yet?
Where on ship?
I don't know, but I will before the evening's out.
Uh-huh. Want the apartment?
Yeah. Also the knockout pills.
Okay, Sheila. Good work. I'll tell Reba. See you later, honey. Soon as you find out where the stuff is on ship.
I'll find out, Marty. Just leave it to me.
In the summer months of last year, a series of robberies of unusual daring took place on the waterfront of one of our large eastern cities. Due to the international nature of the cargoes involved, your Federal Bureau of Investigation was asked to cooperate with Harbor Police in attempting to solve these crimes. When Agent Reynolds and I began our inquiry, we found that the robberies were accomplished by various means of impersonation of federal officers, and that the criminals knew the exact location of the contraband cargo. What we didn't know was what type of ship could enter the harbor without undue suspicion, and who was on the inside to give information.
And I'm glad to hear that Sheila has grown up to be as pretty as you and Ma always expected. She's okay, Sheila is, but I always said you got to watch out
Pa,
for...
read it to me some other time, will you? I got to take my shower.
No, I'm almost finished now. Your brother says...
I got to take my shower, Pa.
Sheila, you're not going out again tonight?
Sure I'm going. And don't wait up for me.
I should think you could stay home anywhere one night.
And do what? Listen to you lecture me? Haven't even got a TV.
Sheila.
What?
It isn't that fellow, that Marty.
What if it is?
Now, Sheila, please, that isn't for you. He runs around with that hoodlum crowd.
Save it, Pa. I don't want to hear.
No, please, Sheila, that Marty, he'll only make trouble for you.
I said save it, understand? I'm old enough to know what I'm doing.
All right.
And don't start with that if only your mother were alive routine again.
All right, you take your shower.
I know what I'm doing, Pa. Don't worry so much.
Uh-huh. I'm going to answer Freddie's letter tonight.
That'll be nice.
I thought maybe I'd tell him maybe he could start looking for a little place for us out there. He says it's real nice in Ohio.
Supposing we talk about that another time,
No,
Pa.
you'd like it out there, Sheila. You always wanted to move out of the city.
I've changed my mind.
Sheila.
What? What?
You'd like it. I know you would. Fred and Amy, they'd introduce you to lots of fine young people. You wouldn't have to run around with a cheapster like...
Like who?
Well, what I meant was...
Like Marty, that's what you meant.
Listen, Sheila, I got almost enough money saved up. If I work nights this summer...
You meant Marty, didn't you?
Sheila, that's all I've been saving up for so we could get away from here. When your mother died, she made me promise
Pop.
that... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mention that again. But, Sheila, I just don't want you to do anything you'll ever be sorry for.
I gotta hurry, Pa. Marty likes me to be on time.
No, Sheila...
I'm going to take my shower, Pa. Save the lecture for someone who'll listen. So if Marty phones, you can tell him I'm coming right over.
And here's a little something extra Mr. Reba bought for you, honey.
For me?
My appreciation for real good work, Sheila. Well, go on, open it.
Wow. Say... Thanks, Mr. Reber. Thanks a lot.
500 cash and presents besides. Not bad, huh?
Not bad. These are just beautiful, Marty. Mr. Reber, they're beautiful.
Guess every girl likes pretty things, eh, Marty?
Every girl, every guy. Sheila, why don't you go inside and try them on?
Could I?
For sure thing. You know the way.
Oh, thanks. Save my drink. I'm up here a minute.
Take your time. We got all evening. Like a regular 2-year-old.
Yeah. Hey, Joe.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how much longer I can keep this one on the string.
You kidding. She's crazy for you.
Too crazy. That's the trouble.
Oh, wedding ring type, huh?
That's it.
What's the matter? You don't like bigamy?
Seems there's a law against.
Yeah, the law always louses up a sweet play. We need her, Marty. Couple more jobs at least, and we'll blow.
Okay, but just remember.
Marty?
Yeah, honey?
Go on in. I'll fix his fresh drinks.
Hey, make mine a double.
I'll make all of them a double.
You like the things okay, huh?
Oh.
You gonna keep them?
What do you think?
I think there's a lot more where they came from. Just stick around, that's all.
All right. I'll stick. Marty,
Yeah?
couldn't you and me do a little celebrating tonight? I mean, on our own, just the two of us.
Sure, honey. Anything you say. And, Sheila,
Yes.
tomorrow, supposing we go over to that fur place and have a look at a coat, huh?
Marty! You mean it, honest?
Of course I mean it. What do you think I want all this dough for except for you?
Oh, Marty. I only want to be with you. I hate going out with any other man.
You won't have to. Much longer, baby.
You said that before this last job.
Yeah, I know, honey, I know. But Mr. Reaver says it won't be much longer now. We got to stay with it till it pays off in full.
And when it does?
It'll be you and me for all time, Sheila.
Okay, Marty. That's all I have to know. I'll stay with it till it pays off.
To Stevens, FBI, Washington. Report received by this office from Captain of Freighter Calcutta regarding stolen contraband. Believe this job work of same gang as SS Liverpool last month. Am interrogating captain and crew members soon as word from your bureau. Sign it, Haddock, U.S. Customs. And this gentleman from the Federal Bureau of Investigation is going to ask you a few questions, Captain.
Sure. Fire away, sir. I'm glad to be of help.
Thank you, Captain. Would you mind telling me what cargo your ship brought in?
Oh, glad to. Calcutta's an 8,000-ton lady carrying mostly jute and burlap. That's what she brought in this crossing.
Mm-hmm. Now, as I understand it, on Tuesday of this week, your ship was docked at Pier 24, preparing to unload cargo.
That's right, sir. Anybody object to pipe?
Please, go ahead, by all means.
Thank you kindly. I didn't mean to interrupt, Mr. Stevens.
Not at all. Now, would you tell me exactly what happened on that Tuesday, Captain?
On Tuesday, nothing out of the ordinary. It was Wednesday these two men came aboard.
Wednesday, then?
Well, sir, about 8 bells, I think it was. I was on deck watching my cargo master label the cases when I saw the two men come on ship.
Two men?
Yes, sir. Officers, I should say, both dressed in uniforms.
Customs?
One Customs, the other Narcotics Bureau.
Did they show any credentials, Captain?
Oh, yes, they were very expert.
You didn't question their legitimacy?
No, I didn't. And frankly, there was no reason to. They seemed a McCoy, and I had nothing to hide. No, I didn't question them, Mr. Stevens.
I understand. Well, please go on.
Well, they said they had a tip about smuggled opium. I started to argue with them, but when they found this dope cache in the power room, that's all there was to it.
The power room?
Yes, sir. Concealed in an empty battery. A good hiding place, to say so myself.
No trouble locating it, though?
None at all. They went right to it and turned up some 30 pounds of the stuff.
Captain, you realize that none of this inquiry is directed against you or your ship. What made you report this incident to the Customs Office?
Well, gentlemen, I have a reputation on the water, and I have a good ship. If one of my crew was putting something over on us, I wanted that seaman out of my sight and behind bars where he belonged.
I see. The two men were only interested in the 30 pounds of opium.
That's right. When they didn't return to question the crew, I got suspicious and started some detective work on my own.
Any results?
Oh, you bet results. My first mate may not be behind jail bars, but I got him locked up good and tight in the hold of the Calcutta.
Your first mate?
He's the one turned up looking in that power room.
Mm-hmm. Can I have a talk with the man?
Well, you can have a talk, and you can have him. I don't want him on my ship.
All right, Captain, I'll take him. And with any luck, he may lead us to the two others and whoever's feeding them their inside information.
Oh, Pa, you're up early.
I've been waiting up for you, Sheila.
Well, you can go ahead to work now. Oh, I'm beat. You go ahead. I'm going to lie down a little while.
Sheila, I don't think you better lie down.
What? Now what are you talking about, Pa? You look funny. You got something on your mind? Spill it.
Hey, who's been at my things? Where's my cigarettes? I had a drawer full.
I offered some to those men. There they are on the table.
Men? What men?
The ones who were here last night. Federal men from the customs.
What?
Sheila, how could you do it? How could you get mixed up in a thing like this?
Mixed up in what?
They told me, Sheila, all those robberies on the pier. The first mate of the Calcutta described a girl just like you.
It's a dirty lie. I don't know any first mate.
No, he described you, how you were out drinking together, how you kept pumping him for information, how you invited him to go with you.
Shut up! Shut up, you hear me?
Sheila.
What did you tell those men? What did you tell them?
How could you? Your own father.
I asked you a question, Pa.
That Marty, he got you into this. I told you it'd lead to trouble.
Pa, what did you tell him?
Nothing. I didn't tell them a thing.
Pa!
They said they'd be back. I wanted to talk to you first.
All right. You talk to me. What are you going to do about it?
Sheila.
What are you going to do? Pa?
I don't know, Sheila. It's too much. I got to think. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Hello?
Joe, this is Marty. We got trouble.
What?
I just heard from Sheila. Get into your uniform. I'll tell you why when I get there.
Get into uniform?
Yeah, the customs outfit. We gotta take care of Pa Drusak before the federal boys takes care of us.
The foreman said you wanted to see me.
You're Drusak?
Yeah?
United States Customs, Drusak. My colleague said we'd be back. You're wanted for another interview down at headquarters.
Oh? Well, I can't go with you now. I'm on the job.
All been arranged with your foreman. You have the rest of the day off, no loss in pay.
Another interview, huh?
You said you'd cooperate if we came back. Haven't changed your mind, have you?
No, I haven't changed.
All right, then, let's go. My car's just outside.
Well, I'd like to call my daughter.
Haven't got time. Stop stalling, Drusak. Let's go.
All right.
You're smart to cooperate. Pays off in the end.
Look, they won't arrest my daughter. She's not at fault. It's those others.
You can't make any promises, Drusak. Go ahead.
She's young. She had no idea what she was getting into. No, she didn't. I swear it.
Okay, she didn't. Just come clean at the interview, that's all.
If it'll help Sheila, I'll do anything.
Car's over there. Do anything, huh?
If it'll help her.
Name names?
Yes, sir. I don't want to protect the hoodlums that got her into this. I want to see them locked up just as much as you do.
I'm glad to hear you say that, Drusak.
I mean it.
I'm sure you do. After you.
Thanks. My daughter may hate me for doing it, but it's for her own good.
That's the way to talk.
Tried to tell her, but you know how young people are. They don't listen.
I know.
They say you're old-fashioned, that you're trying to spoil their fun.
What's the matter?
That man in front, at the wheel.
What about him?
That's him. That's Marty, one of the hoodlums.
Yeah?
No, it's him, I tell you. That's Marty.
Okay, I believe you.
Huh?
Hiya, Pa. Glad to see you.
What?
He's glad to see you. So am I.
You're not...
Not a customs man? Hardly, Drusak. I'm another one of the hoodlums you want to see locked up.
No.
And this is a .45 automatic stuck in your middle. Just sit nice and easy till we get to the water.
Oh, what are you going to do?
We're not going to do a thing, Pa, but you're going to take a nice swim in the river.
No. No, I'm not going with you.
You hear that, Marty? He's not going with us.
Yeah, I hear.
Listen, let me out of here. If Sheila finds out what you're doing...
Sheila, you stupid little jerk. Who do you think tipped us off?
What?
Who do you think tipped us? She did. Your own daughter, Pa.
No. No, you're lying.
Yeah, sure. You'll find out how we're lying just as soon as we get to the water.
Miss Druzak?
Yes,
Sheila Druzak?
that's right. Look, if you're that federal man my father mentioned...
I'm a federal man, yes.
Well, my father told me to tell you to stop bothering him. He has nothing to say to you.
He hasn't.
Nothing at all. Good day, Mr.
One moment, Miss Druzak. I'm a federal man, only not the one your father mentioned. You'd better come along with me.
What?
It won't be a pleasant mission, but you're needed for an official identification.
Identification of who?
Of your father, Miss Druzak. His body was pulled out of the river just 1 hour ago. You'd better come along with me.
Okay, Joe. It's the last bag, all ready to roll.
Right, Marty. Quick farewell drink?
All right, but make it a quick one.
You hurry too much, Marty. An artist always takes his time. In a situation like this, I always say a nice, tall, highball...
Joe,
Yeah.
maybe I should call Sheila, leave her a note, maybe.
Hurry too much and worry too much. I always say when you're walking out on a doll...
Expecting anyone?
No. I told him down at the desk I was checking out.
Bellhop?
Probably. Better answer it.
Yeah?
Oh, go ahead and stop worrying. It's probably the bill.
Okay. Shove some ice in those drinks and we can get out. Why, hello, Sheila.
Hello, Marty.
Hello, Sheila. Come on in.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Come on in, Sheila. We're just fixing a drink. What'd you have? Highball or straight?
I see you're also fixing to leave.
Huh?
My idea, Sheila. I figure we got enough. Forget any more jobs. Marty was just about to go tell you the good news.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, you were taking me with you?
Well,
What else? Are you kidding? Catch Marty going any place without his Sheila.
You can say that again. Come on, honey. Sit down. I'll get you a drink.
No, you sit. I'll get him.
That's what I like about the fair sex, Marty. Service. Lots of ice in mine, Sheila.
Uh-huh. You get to talk to Pa yet?
No, not yet.
What?
We didn't get to talk to him yet, Sheila. Thought leaving town would be a better idea. Right, Marty?
Right.
That's funny.
What's funny?
Lots of ice for you too, Marty?
Yeah. What's funny?
When the federal man spoke to Pa's foreman at the plant, he told him Pa left with a man from the customs. Here you are, Mr. Reber. Lots of ice.
Thank you.
Marty?
Thanks.
Federal man?
FBI. Well, down the hatch.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Down the hatch.
Down the hatch. Sheila, what were you doing with the FBI?
I was making an official identification, Mr. Reber.
What?
An official identification of Pa's body, Marty.
What are you talking about, Sheila?
You ought to know.
Sheila, you...
So should you, Marty. It was the two of you who killed him.
That's a terrible thing to say.
It's an even worse thing to do. Even worse than spilling the whole story of the two of you to the FBI.
You spilled to the FBI?
Not yet, but I'm about to. I'm about to real good.
Why, you crummy
Marty,
little...
hold it. What? You're about to spill. Why?
Why?
Your father didn't mean that much to you. Why else?
You want to answer that, Marty? Or will your wife?
Ah, his wife. The FBI told you about that.
They told me lots of things. Not half as much as I'm going to tell them.
Joe.
I said hold it. You're wrong, Sheila. You're not going to tell the FBI a thing.
No?
No, you're going to be a sensible young lady.
I am sensible, Mr. Reber. I was the one who fixed your drinks.
Sure you were, and...
I fixed them both with the knockout drops Marty gave me. They haven't failed yet.
Knockout drops? What are you talking about?
You should know, Marty. You were the one who taught me. Any minute now, you'll both be out like a light.
You're kidding.
Knockout drops. Oh, come off it, Sheila.
Honey, you got a lot of
As
imagination.
soon as the drops work, I'll call the FBI. They'll haul you both off to the station house.
Marty, let's get out of here.
Oh, she wouldn't pull a
I said
stunt
let's
like
get
that.
out of here.
I wouldn't try to leave, Mr. Reber. I was sensible about this, too.
Sheila, put that thing down. It might go off by mistake.
Just stay in your chairs, both of you. I mean it.
Listen, Sheila, let's act smart.
Sit down, Mr. Reber. At least you can recover from knockout drops.
You know, Marty, I think she does mean it. Tell you what we'll do, Sheila.
Mr. Reber, I'll shoot. It doesn't mean a thing to me if I kill you. Get back in that chair.
In order to shoot a gun, sister, you have to have the hammer pulled back. And... Oh! The crazy fool, she did it!
That was only a scratch. The next one's for keeps.
Sheila, baby.
That goes for you, too, Marty. Get back in your chair. I'd even enjoy shooting you.
Sheila.
Shut up, you idiot. Do as she says.
Well, listen, Hey, I'm feeling dizzy.
The knockout drops, Marty. Out like a light any second now.
Sheila.
You heard what he said, Marty. Do as I say. You wanted to stay with this till it paid off in full. And believe me, you're going to.
Sheila Druzak's confession, along with the statement of the first mate of the SS Calcutta, served to expose the entire racket of Joe Reber and Marty Ellis. Both were tried and convicted for the murder of Sheila's father and the original opium robberies, and sentenced to the death penalty. As an accessory to the robberies, Sheila Druzak herself was given a 5-year term in women's prison. Our files on the case are stamped, paid in full.
This is the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
An Armed Forces radio recording of the FBI in Peace and War as it was broadcast over CBS November 22nd, 1955, 68 years ago. Thank you so much for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Before taking our usual trip to the green room, let's discuss 3 ways we can all help lengthen the war. Here they are. First, throw away all your extra equipment. Second, don't take care of the equipment and ordnance you have left. Third, waste your field rations. Only eat the parts you like. Well, that's only 3 ways. But if each and every man and woman in the service indulged in just those 3 consistently, V-Day would be a far cry indeed. Of course, no one would act like that on purpose, but unfortunately, we all tend to treat GI materiel a little bit like a stepsister. And when you multiply your carelessness and wastage 1 million or more times, it's no longer funny. So let's not help lengthen the war. Let's shorten it by conserving everything we have.
You know, Dave Ramsey says don't buy anything you don't really need. Don't buy more than you need. Don't buy a fancy car when a simple one will do. It makes a lot of sense. And it's just like that. Conserve a bit and save yourself a great deal of money and a great deal of resources for our world. I had a great conversation with our friend Jeff Stein earlier this week talking about the War of the Worlds podcast that we had on Monday. And there is a book that I quoted from. And although that exact book is not still out there and still available, I have posted on our page at classicradio.stream a book about the invasion from Mars and the facts behind the panic that really wasn't. And if you go to classicradio.stream, you can see about it and see what all is there. Okay, we're going to have The Lives of Harry Lime starring Orson Welles. This goes back some 72 years. 72 years, yes, November 2nd, 1951. And this episode is entitled The Mexican Hat Trick.
Presenting Orson Welles as the Third Man. The Lives of Harry Lime. The fabulous stories of the immortal character, originally created in the motion picture The Third Man, with zither music by Anton Karas.
That was the shot that killed Harry Lime. He died in a sewer beneath Vienna, as those of you know who saw the movie The Third Man. Yes, that was the end of Harry Lime. But it was not the beginning. Harry Lime had many lives, and I can recount all of them. How do I know? It's very simple. Because my name is Harry Lime. Me, I don't approve of gambling. At least not the legitimate kind. It's not so much the gambling I dislike, it's the losing I detest. Of course, all business entails a certain amount of risk. That's why insurance companies grow rich. I believe in insurance. That's why when I have to gamble, I always like to ensure that I'm on a sure thing. Some people have been rude enough to call this cheating, but they were prejudiced by being on the losing side. Like that time in Mexico City when I brought off what I like to call my Mexican hat trick.
And now, Orson Welles as Harry Lime, the third man in Mexican Hat Trick.
There is no human affliction worse than poverty. In Mexico City, I realized again that it's more painful when the disease occurs in the midst of plenty. Somehow, there'd always been enough to buy a drink for some poor, unsuspecting tourista. You know the kind, too much money in his pocket, too much trust in his heart for a fellow American, a meal ticket for Harry Lime. But now, nothing. Harry Lime, soldier of many fortunes, good and bad, was down to his last borrowed cigarette, sitting in a crummy dive in a fourth-rate district of the city, checking a mental roster of friends, contacts, and local suckers.
Senor Harry.
Oh, hello, Diego. Just thinking about you, Diego. Sit down, old man.
Bueno.
What's your standard rate for 6 fast lessons in pocket picking?
Mi amigo, I trade you favor for favor. You know my friend Bolo Minoso?
Bolo, of course, king of the Mexico City dips. How's he doing?
He died this morning, Harry.
Oh, it's too bad, Diego. Anything I can do?
See, before he died, Bolo asked me to help him remove a great stain from his immortal soul.
You don't say.
He was afraid that when he entered the next world...
Look, Diego, you've come to the wrong man. I'm having troubles enough with this world.
Bolo gave me this note, Harry. He asked me to take it for him to the police.
Well, go to it, old man.
But the police, could you not deliver this note for me?
To the police?
Yes.
Diego, Remember, Bolo has entrusted it to you. Be a man. Face the issue. Straighten up. Shoulders back. Chest out, old man.
Jest, amigo. You could remove Bolo's stains more simply. I'm afraid.
All right, let me see this note.
See.
I don't know why you should be so worried about. It's.
Okay?
Huh? Well, Diego, you've done a favor or two for me.
Yes.
I guess I'll take care of Bolo's note for you.
Amigo.
Sure.
Gracias, amigo, gracias. You will take it to the police, eh?
Don't worry about a thing, old man. No, I'll take care of the note. When I managed to get rid of the grateful Diego, I sat down and studied this little note more carefully. 17 years ago, the note explained, in the little Mexican town of Leon, Bolo Minoso had killed a man. This note was his confession, a complete account of how he'd permitted an innocent man, somebody named Vicente Coelho, to be accused of this murder. It explained that Bolo had hidden signed affidavits proving Coelho's innocence somewhere in Leon. Just where in Leon, he neglected to say. The police would be interested in this confession, of course, but then it seemed to me that the Coelho family might have a greater concern. So I decided to investigate the financial aspects of the family interest.
Buenos días, señora.
Buenos días, señora. ¿Es esto usted, señora Coelho?
Sí. This is my daughter, Alicia, señor.
Muy encantado. I'm delighted. Senora, this document concerns your husband.
My husband?
Vicente Coelho. He was your husband?
Yes. Yes, but Vicente is dead. Bendito sea su
Senora,
nombre.
how long has it been since his death, I mean?
We do not know. Not for certain.
It has been a long time.
Yes, well, you needn't be delicate on my account, Senora. I know.
No?
Senora, I know that your father was accused of murdering a man in Leon 17 years ago.
He did not. Vicente would not hurt
I know,
anyone. He was not a criminal.
The police didn't share that view. When he escaped from prison before his trial, it seemed to cinch the case against him, right?
Okay?
It made the authorities even more certain of his guilt.
But he had to escape. There was no hope without the papers.
Yes, I know.
You seem to know so much, Mr. Lime.
I know what you know, Senorita. Those papers were the evidence that could have saved your father, and they were stolen.
This does not help us.
We have searched for 17 years for some kind of evidence that would have cleared the name of my husband. We have spent thousands of pesos.
What if you found that evidence now, Senora?
Oh, por Dios. If we only could.
Senorita, those papers, they were affidavits proving absolutely that your husband was nowhere near the scene of the crime when it occurred.
They were? How do you know this?
I have the word of the man who stole them.
You have? Alicia, you know.
Where is this man, Mr. Lime? We must see him immediately.
I'm afraid it's too late for that. He's dead, you see.
Dead? Then it has been for nothing.
Why do you come to us now?
Oh, there's always hope, Senorita. I have his confession that he was the murderer. I can prove your father's innocent.
You can? Mama, you hear?
Si. I knew that someday. Madre de Dios. Gracias.
We must go to the police.
Yes,
You
but
can tell them.
I'm afraid not the police.
You won't go?
Well, this deathbed confession, I'm afraid it isn't enough.
Then what?
The affidavit, Senorita. I know where they can be found. That is the approximate location.
The same affidavit?
Yes.
After 17
They
years?
still exist. With a little searching, I can produce them.
Then you must get them for us. We will do anything.
Senora, there's nothing. I'd rather do more. I'd like very much to help you clear the Coelho name, but... Well, I can't leave immediately. It'll take time, 6 months or so, and then, yes, possibly a year. Depends on business, of course. I do have certain commitments here in Mexico City, you see.
But, Mr. Lime,
I'm sorry, it'd mean losing quite a bit of income. I'm afraid 6 months anyway.
No. No, you must help us now, Mama.
Senor, we do not want you to lose any income for our sake. If you help us, we will pay what money you would lose.
Well, I'm grateful, Senor, but really I hesitate, you see. My income is not small, something around 100,000 pesos for 6 months.
We will give you 200,000 pesos.
200,000.
Senor Lime, our money is yours. We will pay anything. You will not be sorry.
I'm sure of that. Take back your gold. Gold will never buy me. Oh, what it though? Take back your gold. Take back your... Come in.
Buenos dias, Senor Lime.
Senorita.
May I come in?
Of course. Come right on in. Yeah.
I see you are preparing for your journey.
Yeah, sorry, I can't offer you a decent chair. Take this one.
It is all right. I will stand.
How'd you ever find me here?
It was not difficult. You are well known, it seems.
Oh? Checking up on me, huh?
You might say the Coelhos are cautious people, Mr. Lime. My mother thought it best
Please,
that...
Senorita, I should be making the apology.
Mr. Lime, forgive me for saying this, but For a man with business affairs such as yours, you live so...
So, modestly?
Si.
Not at all. Note the spider web over there, senorita. A genuine antique. 15th century. The spider is a direct descendant of Cortez.
I am sorry, Mr. Lime. Bad luck spares no one, it seems.
You've had your share, Alicia. I've had mine, but it really makes a little difference. We can help each other now, and that's what's really important, isn't it?
Si,
Yeah.
si.
Let me pour you a drink. Good stuff. A pickpocket friend of mine borrowed it from an American tourist.
No, thank you. You are so gay, Mr. Lime.
Harry.
Si, Harry,
Say, you know what I think? I think something's bothering you. What is it? The spider web, the saggy chair?
Harry, I would like to go to Leon with you.
Now, just a minute, young lady.
I have the car. You will need an interpreter, perhaps, in Leon.
Well, I've heard it's a lonely town.
Yes, Harry, it is.
Well, don't just stand there, woman. Go on home and pack.
No need to, senor. My luggage is downstairs in the car.
We got our first glimpse of Leon from a hill behind the city. Quiet little mountain town, quite incapable of coping with giddy tourists on expense accounts. As we entered Leon, I wondered what murder had to do with a place like this.
Bueno, Harry. You have taken us directly to the town plaza.
Couldn't miss. Only one road into town. That a hotel over there?
It is the hotel.
Mm-hmm. And that must be the town's official greeter. Out you go. Out you go.
Gracias.
Good
to stretch.
Un tostón nada más.
He says he will watch the car, Harry.
That's official greeter, all right. One or 100 in every Mexican town.
His mother is ill, he says. His family is dying of hunger.
Sure.
Give him something, Harry.
Looks like the greeter was just sent into retirement.
Buenos días, señor.
Buenos días.
Señora. Welcome to Leon. You will be happy with us in this hotel. Your bag, señor?
Gracias.
Come, I have a beautiful room for you. Una habitación muy bonita. Señor y señora will be...
Un momento.
Sí, señora.
Dos.
¿Dos habitaciones, señora?
Señorita.
Ay. Señorita, sí. Bueno, pues dos habitaciones.
Dos habitaciones. We followed the officious little hotel manager across a tile lobby up rickety stairs.
And many centuries before this, my hotel was the home of one of the Spanish conquistadors.
Those are our rooms down there?
See, there is much romance
Very
in this
interesting,
building.
yes.
Over there you see...
Senor, what bell is that we hear?
Bell? Oh, the bell, see. This is the famous church bell of Leon.
Famous?
It bears a long and tragic story, señorita. Every hour it tolls to remind us of the scenes.
Look, old man, some other time if you don't mind.
Sí, señor, pero...
Here you are. It's for you.
Muchas gracias, señor. Muchas gracias.
Nada. Well, young lady, how do you say we wash up first and then start the big search for the affidavit?
Harry, it seems so difficult. Where does one begin?
Oh, with Bolo, of course. Find his trail. We find the papers. Let's go.
Orson Welles returns in just a moment as the third man. And now, Orson Welles as Harry Lime, the third man in Mexican Hat Trick.
Leon was even sleepier than most Mexican towns. Only the bell disturbed it. After the midday siesta, when you'd expect things to come to life, everything just went on sleeping as before. Good for the nerves, of course. Unless you were trying to wake up a memory 17 years old.
Perhaps he will know this man.
Let's hope so. I'm a little tired of asking. You speak English?
Sí, I
That's
speak
well.
good English.
I want some information. Información.
¿Qué información, señor?
You desire...
Nunca ha conocido un hombre que se llama Voluminoso.
¿Voluminoso?
Sí, vivía aquí hace muchos años.
No, señorita, no le conozco.
I understood that. Okay.
What now, Harry?
Another bar. Gracias, amigo. One bar after another, one cafe after another. We made them all. We hit cockfight rings, the viejos on the street, everyone in every place where there might be a clue. Something to point us in the direction of those affidavits.
Did you find anything, Harry?
Nothing. Tough job.
Perhaps we are making a mistake. What about my father? It would be easier to find someone who remembers him. We can start from there.
Out of your mind, mention your father's name. Just mention it around here. You have not only the police down on us, we'll have every chief confidence man in Mexico on our hands, trying to find out what we want.
But we have to start somewhere.
And we have to rest somewhere, too. My feet are killing me. Let's go back to the hotel.
Harry, it is not right for me to be in
What?
your room.
Oh, for the love. Come on. There's no time to worry about propriety.
But it is not...
Oh, we're both tired. We've got to rest. We might as well talk while we're doing it. Go on. I'll order up a couple of drinks. Hey, Alicia, there's nothing to cry about.
I am sorry. I cannot help it.
Come here. Come on.
Oh, you should not kiss me.
Oh, I'd be pretty silly if I didn't.
Harry, please, no.
You're a great kid, Alicia.
Oh, Harry.
You know what? I kind of hope this search of ours isn't too successful. Too soon. Things were considerably more bearable during the next few days. The warm Mexican evenings and Alicia. But during the days, long, tedious days, we searched and searched and searched, and we found nothing. After one of our better evenings together, I left Alicia at her door and headed for my room. When I opened the door, there was a surprise waiting for me. I had a guest. The weazened old beggar who'd been the first to greet us on our arrival in Leon. This time his greeting was a little violent. Hey!
Tim!
Hey, why you?
Maria!
No, you don't.
You tried to kill me.
Oh, you tried to kill me. I'd die. What are you doing here? Come on, what do you want? Panhandle business falling off, robbing hotel rooms now? Well, we'll see what the police have to say about it.
No, not the police.
Okay, let's have it. What's it all about?
You come to kill me.
What are you babbling about? Who wants to kill you?
Bolo, you looking for Bolo. You come to kill
Bolo?
me.
What's he got to do with it? Hey, come back here. Bolo? Vicente Coelho. The beggar, the flea-bitten old car-watching beggar. This was Alicia's father. Buried in the dust of police records, rumors, and memory, but after all these years, still alive. And those affidavits proving his innocence of the murder, they'd be twice as valuable to the living as they were to the dead. His family would certainly be willing to pay much more for them now, unless, of course, Coelho found them first. Obviously, that's why he was in Leon. I had to get my hands on those papers before he did, and before Alicia realized her father was still alive.
Harry, I thought we could go. Harry!
It's okay. Come in. Close the door.
What happened?
I had a little argument with destiny, honey. I won.
Your clothes.
Yeah.
They're all torn in your face. Oh, Harry.
Nothing I can't wash off with soap and water,
But
Alicia.
what was it?
The old beggar. He must have been after my money. He tried to kill me when I caught him at it.
Oh, Harry, you must be careful.
No, you're the one who's got to be careful. Stay away from him. No telling what he's up to now. Might try to get back at me by hurting you.
Then we must go to the police.
No. I don't want to talk to the police. No, not until we can clear your father.
And then what?
I'll handle him myself. You just stay close to me. I had to find those blasted papers quickly now. But how? Where? Was Coelho any closer to them than I? How could I keep Alicia from learning that her father was alive? Add to these nagging thoughts the incessant clanging of that church bell just outside my window. You can well understand my reaction to the hotel manager's typical good morning greeting.
Ah, buenos dias, senor.
Yeah, buenos
well,
dias.
Of course.
I did not sleep well.
Senor, your bed is not comfortable. I will see to it.
Where's Alicia?
¿Quién?
The senorita. She come down yet?
The senorita, she's at the church.
Church?
Si, senor. This is a great holiday in our city. At midnight, the bell begins to toll and does not stop until the sun sets tonight.
You mean to tell me it's going to keep up that racket till sundown, that horrible clankety-clank?
This clank, senor, it is the will of the Lord.
Yeah, well, I need some coffee.
Our punishment, senor. We atone on this day for the great sin of Leon.
The great sin of Leon. That must have been a whopper.
A terrible sin, senor. On this day, 17 years ago, a good man was killed in Leon. For this, the Lord removed the music from the bell.
Wait a minute. What happened 17 years ago?
There was murder in our city.
And the bell?
A miracle, senor. On this
Never
day,
mind the bell. What's it got to do with the murder?
Please, senor, do not shout.
Will you please, por favor, get the blasted point?
Senor, you must hear me. This bell was once of glorious musical tone.
Yes,
Then there came this terrible sin, this killing.
Go on.
One of the men of Leon was taken by the police for this murder. Then there occurred this miracle.
What miracle?
The music left the tone of the bell, and this man was never seen again.
Wait a minute. It changed its tone overnight, huh? Before the man was brought to trial?
The will of the Lord, senor. Our punishment for permitting violent death in our city. Each year on this day, we pray that the music be restored to our bell. You say you wish coffee, senor?
No, not now. When the senorita returns, tell her to see me. Pronto. Right away is too late.
But, Harry, it is too fantastic.
Oh, sure, it's fantastic. Bells don't change their tone the way you and I change our clothes. There's got to be a reason for it, a practical, fundamental, tangible reason. Now, look, this note.
Okay.
Bolo's note. Here, he admits it right here. He stole the evidence that would have cleared your father. He says he hid it right here in Leon.
Well, why did he not destroy it immediately?
Who knows? Maybe he intended to confess sooner or later. Murderers are seldom logical people, but look. Now we learn that just before your father escaped from the police, the tone of this bell suddenly, mysteriously, miraculously changed from a melodious ring to that clank we hear out there. Listen to it, Alicia. Listen. What makes a bell sound like that?
I do not know, Harry. It may be. I do not know.
Well, neither do I, but tonight I'm going to find out. And you're going to help. It was midnight before the streets were empty. Alicia and I entered the little church and climbed up the ancient flight of stairs to the company. Quiet now.
How will you get to the bell? The steps do not go that high.
We'll have to use the bell pull.
It will make so much noise.
Yeah,
It
I know.
will stop the bell to ring.
Won't make much difference once we get what we're after.
Can you reach it?
Got it. Stay here. The padre shows up. Let me know. I'll make it as fast as I can.
Be careful, Harry. Do not hurt yourself.
I'll be okay.
Harry, I love you. This is for good luck.
That did it.
Harry!
I climbed up hand over hand. I don't know how far. 10 feet, maybe 15 or 20. It wasn't easy. The bell made a horrible racket over me, and the sound grew in waves as I approached it, making me dizzier and dizzier until I almost let go. But finally, there was no more rope. My hand touched the inside of the bell, and it stopped ringing. The old lime confidence was at a cockeyed angle and slipping away fast when I suddenly grabbed for the clapper and found what I wanted. A heavy oilskin wrapper tied around it, a couple of 100,000 pesos worth of missing affidavits. One good tug pulled it away, and I stuffed it in my shirt front. Alicia! The rope burned chunks of flesh right out of my hands as I slid down. Below me, I saw another figure struggling with Alicia, trying to get past her. The two of them were wrestling on the narrow ledge at the top of the steps leading to the bell tower. I caught one moonlit glimpse of their faces as I swung onto the ledge. It was the beggar, Coelho, Alicia's father.
I kill you.
Before I could reach him, she got one arm free and hit him as hard as she could. Then she shoved, and he went over. Alicia!
Harry, Harry, he tried to kill me.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right, honey. It's all right.
I killed him. It was not my fault.
No, you didn't, kid. Look, he's getting up. He's all right.
Glad. I'm glad.
Come on, Alicia. Let's go down. After all, we got what we came for.
Lime returns in just a moment. And now, Harry Lime.
As far as the authorities were concerned, Coelho was a nameless beggar who'd gone and blown his top. They locked him up, of course, but said he'd be released later on. I was the one person who could identify him, the one person who could return him to his family. But why interfere? Let the old man figure it out for himself. If he wanted to remain the unknown beggar for the rest of his days, that was his business. Probably everybody'd be happier the way things were, particularly Alicia. She was all that really worried me. I went out into the little plaza to think it over. Day was breaking. The birds were waking up. The little cantina was still open. I went in and sat down at a greasy little table and had myself a couple of tequillas. Then I borrowed a few sheets of notepaper and wrote this. Alicia, my darling, I'm writing this in a great rush because I want to be gone from Leon before you're awake. I'm doing it this way because I'm afraid if I saw you again, I wouldn't know how to go, and I've got to. No matter what, I mustn't stay on here in Mexico with you. I hope you find somebody you deserve, but I doubt it. Anyway, here's wishing you happiness. Adios. And as for my fee, you can pay it to a man called Diego, who called at your house. Again, adios. Yours, Harry Lime.
Away, Orson Welles' The Lives of Harry Lime from 72 years ago, November 2nd, 1951. On our next get-together on Friday of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we'll have an episode of the West Coast program Calling All Cars and the story of the Portuguese crooner from 1938, an episode of Counter Spy and the Case of the Carbon Council, and an episode of Dangerous Assignment and the story of the Nazi fugitive. That's all coming up on our Friday edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you for visiting, and a reminder to visit our webpage, classicradio.stream. That is classicradio.stream. Have yourself a great day. We will see you tomorrow with another Classic Radio Theater podcast right here or anywhere podcasts are served.